Hey everybody, I completed the grading for your submissions from week one this morning, and I wanted to just drop in with a quick video. As having taught this class for about 15 years now, I found it just kind of helps to kind of talk about some of the high points in terms of things that I've seen, some trends on your work. That way I can disseminate that information out to all of you. So if, for example, you didn't make a given mistake, but your peers did, at least this way that's kind of what I'm looking for. Having spent many of years as a student myself, I know that sometimes that first assignment's a little bit of a struggle, just simply because you're trying to learn what the professor is looking for. So you should see grades for your discussion and your application paper. So first off, discussions. Keep in mind, the expectation is initial post up by Wednesday, and then a minimum of 2 peer replies, meaningful peer replies, by the end of the week. Okay, so be sure you really look at that rubric and those requirements. So what I always tell people is don't look for maximum credit when you provided the minimum effort. So in other words, if you make your initial post on Wednesday and then I see you pop in on Sunday at late in the day and just give 2 quick replies, that's not going to get you full credit. Okay, so that's meeting the minimum expectation. So again, remember, we're doing stuff in APA format, so definitely take that into account. When I went through and annotated your application papers, if you made an APA error, look in text, because I know professors grade differently. I like to put the comments actually in the body of your paper, so you can open that up, and where applicable, I actually give you a link out to the APA reference guide. So, for example, some of you weren't using level 1 and level 2 headers correctly. Keep in mind, level 1 header needs to be centered and bold, and it should fit on one line. Okay, so some of you took the entire question, from the case and put the whole thing out there. Summarize that down, get it down to one line. Okay. And as a general rule, when you're given these, tool wire things to look at for your discussions and your papers, typically every question that we're asking you to comment on should be its own level 1 heading. So that just kind of helps you better organize the paper. Okay. A couple other things I saw, acronyms. Okay, I annotated that in almost everybody's paper. If you use an acronym, you need to define that acronym on first use. Okay, so things like EHR, HIPAA, IT, NICU, PICU, all of those things. Okay, that way you define it for your audience. Okay. Secondly, I saw several people using paragraphs with, I saw one only had 2 sentences in it. I saw a lot of paragraphs with 3 and 4 sentences. Keep in mind, graduate level work here, a good rule is 6 to 8 sentences. Okay, so if you're coming up way short on that, think about, do you need to expand more, or do you need to merge that paragraph with another paragraph? Okay. Again, 6 to 8 is a rule. If you're at 5 and it's a good solid paragraph, it's certainly not something I'm going to deduct you points on, but just kind of be cognizant of that. Okay. Sources. Keep in mind, we're talking about healthcare information technology. I've been lucky enough to work in this field for over 20 years now, and let me tell you, a lot has changed in 20 years. So again, a good rule of thumb is on all of the topics in this class, don't use a source that is more than 10 years old. Okay, it kind of takes away from the credibility of the writing. So I can tell you, on all of the topics that you'll be asked to write about for the next 7 weeks, there is plenty of current content out there. So one way to kind of help you with that is, if you haven't already, start using Google Scholar as opposed to just plain Google for your searches. That will filter out a lot of the noise. Okay, it makes it a little easier to find worthwhile sources. Okay. So overall, for the first week, very, very pleased with the quality of work that I saw. As you review the feedback I've provided, this shouldn't be a mystery to you. So if anything is unclear or doesn't make sense, by all means, shoot me a note. I'm happy to talk through it, expand a little bit more if something isn't clear. Okay. So that should get you going for the week, and look forward to see what you come up with this week. Have a great week, everybody.